it's Erica, and today we're going to be playing with the Luxe Lilies stamp set. So this is a one and done stamp set, so you stamp it once and then you die cut it once. Yes! So it is all just one piece, makes it so simple. So I had a bit of a wild idea today, so I really wanted to use some colored pencils. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to stamp this set up first with a Lost Shadow, and I'm thinking this could look really cute, so we're definitely going to try that. And then we're going to color in with Faber-Castell Polychromos. So look at all this beautiful colors. Yes. Okay. So I haven't colored with colored pencils for a long time, but we're going to give it a go and we're going to see what happens. So first I'm going to stamp this with... So I'm going to stamp them two, actually. So I'm going to do both black ink and the Lost Shadow ink, because I was kind of thinking that, you know, the gray would be quite nice to give it a bit of a softer look. But then I also thought, you know what, while I have the stamp set out, might as well do one in black ink as well and, you know, give that a try and see. So, you know, here I'm just going to be stamping up using a Misty, because cannot do anything without a Misty these days. It is impossible. Now, this is the Distress ink, so it's not the Distress Oxide. So, usually this, I mean, I don't feel like it stamps super well. So, I was a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's try one, and then we'll see what it looks like. And you can see my little helper here putting the lid on the ink, but I ended up needing it again because it, you know, like I suspected, it just wasn't kind of stamping as good as I was hoping. So, you know, we're gonna do one more layer, and then we are also gonna do one in black just to kind of see what they look like, and you know, we were gonna kind of take it from there. So sometimes this is what you have to do in order to see for yourself what works, what doesn't work. And like I said, I at this point thought, no, for sure it's going to be the black image, because that's going to be nice and sharp. You're going to be able to see all the lines, and you know, it's going to make it pop, you know, it's going to make it pop. Oh, show. So, I mean, already now, like, just looking through the lid, you can kind of see, like, it just looks so good, right? I mean, this is a beautiful stamp set. So, I was like, yeah, I think we're going to go for the black. But I did do two inkings with both the Lost Shadow and the black ink. Just to kind of make sure that I have really nice and crisp lines, because, you know, that's what you need. Yes, it is. So we're going to compare these two next to each other and just kind of see, you know, where are we going to go from here? Because at this point, I was still very undecided. So I thought, okay, you know what? This one, I really didn't think it was going to be that one. I, at this point, was still like, nope, I think it's going to be the black one. But then I thought, maybe we'll just give it like a teeny tiny little try. Teeny tiny, just add a little bit of color in there, like just scribble a little bit. And I must say, as soon as I did, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep trying. Yep. So that's what I did. So I actually ended up coloring only the images stamped with Lost Shadow, which I did not think was going to be the path today. No, I did not. But this is, again, a perfect example of why you should try a few things, see what kind of works and what doesn't work, and, you know, what you like. Because, you know, you do have to, sometimes you have to try a few things to kind of see, is this going to end up how I think, or like how I picture it in my mind? Or is it just going to be nonsense? And if it is nonsense, then at least you did learn something from it, right? So whatever you end up doing, coloring wise or stamping wise or something like that, instead of focusing on the negative, that maybe this didn't work out to be exactly how you pictured it, you will have learned something from it. And that is what we should be focusing on. So every crafting session, whether it's, you know, everything goes perfect and you're like, whoa, nothing went wrong, it came out exactly how I pictured it in my head, and even better, you know, those sessions are great. But sometimes when things go wrong, that's when you really learn how to kind of step outside the box, look at a problem, you know, if you can think of crafting as a problem, and then kind of see like, okay, what can I learn from this and how can I make this better? How can I make this work? And like I said here with this, you know, coloring here, I really, really did not think that the Lost Shadow images was going to be the one that I colored today, because they did kind of, I don't know whether it's the formulation of the ink, but it kind of made the paper bubble up a little bit around the images as well. Like the stamped lines were kind of not super crisp. And it kind of felt like they were almost raised a little bit, like they sort of reacted with the paper. And just kind of like, it, yeah. I was quite disappointed actually when I first saw what it ended up looking like. I was like, oh no. But then I started coloring, and yes, I mean, at the moment, it is just a very, very light touch of pink, but we're gonna keep adding colors and, you know, creating those, like, you know, the highlights and the lowlights, the contrast, you know, bring these flowers to life. We're going to create those kind of like veins, like the pinky veins, you know, the white lilies with a pink middle. They have kind of like veins that go out into the petals, and we're gonna color in the stamens and like all the pollen and things like that, and obviously the leaves and the stems, and you know. But yeah, so I did end up having a really fun coloring session with this. I did feel a little bit rusty, and I do think that this is something that you have to kind of remember as well when you move from one medium. Like when you haven't done it for a long while, sometimes you have to just give yourself a little bit of grace, in that it takes a little while to kind of switch your creative brain into that medium. Because for like probably I would say the last 4 to 5 months, I think the majority of my coloring has been with either Copics or Corinne markers. So switching to colored pencils, which is a whole different beast, it did take a little bit of time. But I'm kind of glad I got this on video actually, to kind of see like, okay, so whilst not perfect, not as terrible as it could have been. I might be tooting my own horn a little bit too much here, but you know, sometimes you just have to kind of, you know, you have to go with the flow and just kind of see. And then I tell you what, next time I color with colored pencils, I will maybe try the same thing. I will do the lilies, and then I will color them and just kind of like compare with this coloring and see like, oh, did I learn anything from last time or not, you know? So this is something as well to remember. Like when you color, you should only ever compare yourself to your previous attempts. Don't you know, go out and start comparing yourself to like Sandy Olnuck, or you know, these amazing people like Alice, you know, with Kitten Clouders, does fantastic magical work with colored pencils. You know, just only compare your own work to your previous work and see how far you come. So that is a top tip today. So we're not going to berate ourselves that we're not progressing at the speed that we think, or that we're not getting the results that we think we should be getting. You know, we are, if we're progressing, that's a good thing. Okay, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk. We kind of went in on like a bit of a coloring empowering trip here, but yes, I'm gonna go back to the actual card making now. So with this card, this is a bit of a longer video, and I wasn't sure whether I should, you know, speed up all of the coloring, but I did kind of miss filming the last part of the coloring where I have gone in with much darker pencils to kind of really create those like delicious, you know, contrast and the depths and, you know, details and things like that. But you will be able to see it like towards the end of the video when I'm showing you like where, you know, I put all the bits onto a card and things like that. So don't worry. And I was gonna say, if you want to see more colored pencils tutorials, then I will speak to Bindu and find somebody who's really good at colored pencils to maybe do one, because I don't think that I am it at the moment anyway. But now you can kind of see that, the flowers are really starting to come to life. And, there's, that soft pink in the middle. We're getting some depth and details and this and that. So, they're coming to life for sure. So this last bit is going to be really, really sped up. But once we finish with this, so this is where I'm starting to color like the leaves and the stems. I don't know what that was so difficult to say. I will show you a little close up on what we've got so far. And then we're going to cut them out. We're going to build the background. We're going to find some fun sentiments and add a little bit of sparkles. And we're going to end up with a beautiful card. So now we're coming to like the end here. I'm just filling in the stamens a little bit in the middle there. And we're going to have a quick look at this now. So here is, I've just kind of focused in on one flower. So I will color the rest of them off camera and we'll come back to that. Yes. So here are all of the flowers finally colored in, and all the leaves and everything like that. And now we're going to cut these out using the one and done die cut. But yeah, look at this. Like, just I've really tried to gone for that kind of veiny pinky petal look, and yeah, it's okay, but I can probably do better. So I'm going to practice this for sure. Yeah. So here we're going to place our die cut on top of the images, and then we're just going to run this through our die cutting machine. I am using a little bit of post-it tape to keep this in place because I don't want that to get messed up. Then I spent all of this time coloring in my images. And now we're just going to pop these out. We're going to put them aside, and we are going to grab our background, and then we're going to finish off our card here. But yeah, once you cut those out, they just look so good, don't they? I mean, there's a lot of something about having those coordinating die cuts for sure. This background here is something that I have made with some of those, the gorgeous ombre glitter paper, and the die cut on top is the Speckled Canopy cover plate. It's got a fantastically gorgeous pattern, and it just, there's enough interest there without kind of taking away from the lilies, and I felt like the sort of pinky purpley color was kind of perfect to go with the lilies for this one. So it's cohesive but not like too much. The other color I was thinking of was like the green part, and I think that could have looked really, really nice, but I decided to go for the pink because I was in a pink mood, and sometimes you don't need an excuse other than I like pink. So we are going to leave it like that, and then we're going to use some of these gorgeous sentiments from the Gilded Expression stamp set. So these are heat embossed in gold because it looks fantastic, it's kind of hard to beat heat embossing in gold because it looks so good and it's nice. It's textile, textured, but it just, it adds a little something, doesn't it? So I decided to use Hey Friend Sending Hugs. And we're going to place these two like in two different places so that it's not all in one place kind of thing. And then we're going to glue these down using a little bit of liquid glue, and then we're going to pop our flowers down as well. It's going to be a very, very simple thing here now once we actually decided on, sentiment, placement of flowers. We got our background. We are not going to overthink this. We're not going to make things difficult. So now we're going to go into the extra little bit. So we're going to use some Prismatic Purple gems, and we're going to use a little Twinkle Tray and a Bling Buddy, of course. So we're going to add a generous amount of bling because, we need the blingy ling-a-ling-ling. because it's obviously not sparkly enough, even with that glitter paper in the background. There was some need for some sparkles, and I'm really sorry about the shaking there. I don't know what happened, but yeah, we're gonna add a fair amount of the Sparkle Art Girls here and bling-a-ling-ling, and then we are gonna sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Yes, so this card, despite kind of like the ups and downs in the beginning where like, oh, gray stamping or black stamping, or, you know, what are we gonna do? Is it gonna be super duper complicated coloring? Is it not going to be very good coloring, or whatever? So there's been a bit of a roller coaster again in today's video, but I really hope you have enjoyed following along with my craziness, and that you have you know, that you like the card. You know, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment if you have any questions or anything that you want to bring to my attention, and I will see you very soon again. Bye for now.